So behind the spice, there is the Advaita, the curry or the rice, which when added, gives to us the truth lying behind the beautiful edifice of life. Outside, though it is all various appearances, name, form, and other aspects of our life, everything is different. Not one thumb in the world can have another thumb like that or like it. That's why we take the thumb impression, and what a beautiful architect God is. Not one thumb is similar to another thumb, and it has been a great saving factor for us. But behind it, and in spite of these deceptive varieties in appearance, in reality they say it is nothing but one and only one. Startling revelations and reformations will take place in our life once we are able to detect or even have a glance of this Advaitic feeling or realization. The whole life, instead of becoming a torment, will become a beautiful garden, bringing the festivity of spring into our life. In olden days, this was part of our culture, part of our samskriti, samskara. The way of living itself was like that. Today we are not going into those details because it will take long time. The very Advaita philosophy begins with that everything finite in this nature. More and more you go deeper and deeper into that, everything becomes infinite. A single cell in the body, a single leaf, if we can go on projecting it, it becomes infinite. I had an email where they showed the leaf of a plant 10 inches distance. Oh, it looks different. 1 mile. It looks totally different, and when enlarged 100 miles, 100 kilometers, like that they went on, and inside the leaf, each particle and each different part, it is like a huge world inside it. In our body also, like one body, hundreds of cells, blood vessels, and so many cells are inside. Each cell, as you go deeper and deeper into it, it becomes a world in itself. Same thing, as you go higher and higher, the whole thing appears to be one unified form. As you are there, sitting in the plane, everything looks different. More and more you go higher and higher, everything becomes one unified vision. All the trees, the grass, the plants, everything becomes one green patch. So going up and coming down reverse way, both way we find there is infinity. Man also, as you go deeper and deeper inside, he is also the infinite Atman. Everything expands into the infinity. So this grand principle of Advaita brings the very benediction of fearlessness, because we are one. Because we lost it, the whole life has become a great accident, a disaster, spending millions and millions in arming the countries with so much of weapons for war, constantly living a life of threat under fear. The reason is that it is not visible, not that it is ever present, but most of the things that are ever present we hardly notice in our life. Is it not? Do you notice the working of your brain? Perhaps you are not even remembering that you have a brain, is it not? How many of us remember that all our actions are due to the working of our brain and the heart? Rarely we ever feel it. So this feeling of Advaita is a practical way of putting it in our life, bringing it in our action. Before that, we have little details about this Advaita philosophy. One day, an elderly man was watering the plants of his garden, and the son, who was a schoolboy, he was returning home and seeing the father watering the trees and the flower plants with the hose pipe. He told, "Father, what are you doing?" No, I am giving food to all these plants. Food? But mummy gives food to me and I take it through my mouth. You are just pouring water on the earth, the soil. It's only mud. Why don't you pour the water on the tree, the trunk, the leaves and the branches? No, you don't understand now, but when you grow up, you will find as the waters go below, there are roots, and through the roots, the earth, the trees and the plants, they will pick up their nourishment. But where are the roots? I am not able to see it. You are just making fun with me. So in our cases also, as we lack the understanding, though we may be aged physically, we are all like the school-going children. We are unable to see the roots of life. What appears to us is only the differences, the varieties, the apparent divergences, and we rarely see the roots which are below. The roots are in different realm, in different dimension, and we think what we see, that alone is real. But there are things, there are realms, there are different dimensions, horizons which are beyond our purview and transcending their own nature. When rishis came upon this dimension of Advaita, they were startled. They thought, oh, what a glorious thing we have invented today. We have fell upon something very marvelous. And how man lives a pathetic life. Torn by all the varieties and differences, we make hell out of our heavenly life. And ultimately we become one in death. Is it not? On the earth and below the earth, we are one. But below the earth, we become one without our knowledge. If we can get knowledge when we are living on the earth, this very earth will become a grandest paradise. And that Indian rishis found out, and that is why our motherland had a very, very grand life, a marvelous country, hundreds of different languages, hundreds of different cultures, hundreds of different castes, religions, everything is totally different. But all the differences are held, the visible, different, divergent things are held by one beautiful grand truth of Advaita. It may not be visible to us, but it is existing, and if we can touch the truth of that existence, Swamiji says the life becomes totally nourished. Not only the individual life, the national and the global life becomes totally nourished. But we are not able to see this truth. Children as we are, in spite of our age and growth and the boasted maturity that we claim to be, along with all the knowledge we have gathered, man is a small child. That's why in our Upanishads, in some of the Shastras, those great rishis who are full of love because of this Advaitic experience, they don't scold us, they don't use abusive languages. But once in a while they will use some abusive language, and the maximum level of vulgarity to which they can go in their scolding is, they will tell you, Balaha, children. You are all children. Somebody got up and told, how dare you call us children? Well, yes, it is there existing, but you are not able to see the roots of the tree like that boy. You are not able to understand the roots of the existence. So we are all Balaha. Pravadanti Balaha, na Pandita. Krishna says Sankhya and Yoga are one and the same thing. Yat Sankhya prapyate sthanam tad yoga irapi gamyate. But children, they say they are Pritak. Balaha, Pritak Vadanti Balaha, Natu Pandita. And another scolding we get is Kripanaha. Kripanaha Phalahetavaha. We are all very, very miserly, is it not? The miserliness comes because we lost the precious jewel of Advaita. The whole of charity If you go into the depths of the charity, it is based on Advaita. We are one. That is what turned the arrogant Rockefeller into one of the most charitable person in life. After he met Advaita Acharya Swami Vivekananda, during his triumphant stay in West, Rockefeller, one of the greatest philanthropists now, he was an arrogant young man with all the riches of the world. He had a personal problem and someone advised him to meet the Indian sannyasi. He came to meet Swamiji, and all of you know the story that he came and he was standing at the entrance of Swamiji's room. Vivekananda was deeply drowned in the work. He had a phenomenal power of concentration, and after a few minutes, as Swamiji raised his head and welcomed Rockefeller, Rockefeller expressed his anger and displeasure. I have been waiting here for so many minutes. And Swamiji told, I have been drowned in my work, I didn't see you. But he was angry and he told, no kidding with me. Don't play all these things. And Swamiji understood that the fellow was full of arrogance along with riches. And he was a man, Swamiji was a person who could see the past, present and the future, not only of an individual but of the whole world. He was a Trikala Jnani. And he suddenly told one truth which was a great secret in the life of Rockefeller that shattered him. And he simply collapsed on the chair and he was wondering how could he understand and find out this greatest secret in my life. Nobody knows except myself, but how did he go into the depths of my own being and find out that? So the ego was put down and he understood that there is a powerful man in front of him to wrestle with. In the process of conversation, Swamiji told, you see, you have not become rich by yourself. You could have gone to the desert and amassed huge money, but you have to understand, Rockefeller, that it is the hard labor and the sweat of others who worked and toiled for you, and that brought wealth to you. Therefore, understand that you and the world, you are interconnected. And therefore hold the whole property, the wealth of yours as a trustee and use it for the welfare of humanity. This grand conception, the idea of Advaita, that is what brings compassion, charity, mercy, forgiving nature. All the ethics, values, morality all come into being because of that one precious diamond called Advaita. And as Swamiji went on giving this advice, his ego started boiling. But yet the words of the saint, they have the infallible effect. That is the power of the truth. Rockefeller went away and after a few days he came back and the same scene was being enacted. Swamiji writing letters to somebody in India, inspiring them to free India from the clutches of Britishers. But this time Rockefeller was little composed because he understood the man who was in front of him. Again Swamiji invited him inside the room after a few minutes, and before sitting, Rockefeller threw a check on the table of Swamiji. Here, this check is for you poor Indians. The arrogance had not left him and he told, this is for you poor Indians. Swamiji took the check, quietly put it inside the drawer and started writing the letter. That's the fearless nature, because the one in front and the one inside, both are one, and when all are one, where is the cause for fear? Dvitiyadvai bhayamasti advaitam abhayam. And Rockefeller was really disturbed by this act of Swamiji. Swami, I am waiting for you to thank me. Swamiji put down the pen, looked at Rockefeller fully and told Rockefeller, it is you who is supposed to thank me, not me to you. I had given you an opportunity to help the poor Indians and exercise your marvelous power of charity. It is you who are supposed to thank me. I am waiting for your thanks, Rockefeller. And that was a great revelation, and Rockefeller could not really take it inside. And he could not drop it also. Because such is the power of truth. And that brought revolution, psychological mutation in Rockefeller's mind. and became a great philanthropist. We have Rockefeller Foundation in India, in many parts of the country, serving the poor and the needy. So the truth doesn't care whether you have looked at it or not. That is the beauty of the truth, the unselfishness in it. Swamiji says truth never pays homage to society. Ancient or modern, society must pay homage to truth or perish. But however you may overlook or forget the truth, again and again great men will arise in this world, and through their life deeds, truth will proclaim itself in all glory, and in the voice of a thunder will express itself again and again. So in India we find sages, not only in India, in other countries, but for India it is one of the occupations to produce saints. That this truth has been proclaiming itself again and again. That is the nature of the truth. Truth doesn't require a messenger. So Swamiji says truth is inevitable. Nobody can contradict it. If you follow, you are blessed. If you don't, it's your life which will go into tatters. So this Advaitic truth proclaims itself again and again, and ultimately we will be forced to come to that. Directly or indirectly, science is propelled by Advaita, is it not? The concept of global village, getting connected to all the different countries, what does it predict? Swamiji says the very same Advaitic Vedanta principle which was at the metaphysical level, it is coming proved by the physical science, bringing the whole world together through communication, through transport. He says you cannot register thought in one country without hearing its echo in another country very quickly. Slowly science is bringing through mobile phone and through other television, audio and video and electronics, that we are all becoming one physically, but psychologically, spiritually, we are one. Therefore, we cannot bring it. What is existing cannot be manufactured. We cannot bring it, but we can take note of it. And the moment we take note of it, then the honeydew starts dropping into the flower of our life, and we find whether others are benefited or not, our whole life becomes a benediction. Moment you change the outlook, the way you look out changes. It is the outlook that has to be changed, and it is the outlook that causes the way we look out at things. India is now boiling with all the differences and varieties, is it not? One says Amchi Mumbai, and the other man says I am first an Indian and then a Mumbaite. And this man says Tendulkar has become a run-out. He is a cricket player, but he should not enter the field of politics. Another says Dravida, Dravida, Tamilinam, Tamilinam. Another says I am a Dalit, I am a Dalit. And this man says I am a Jat. No, I am a Thakur. Thakur means not Sri Ramakrishna, but the Thakurs in Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. See, everywhere we try to thrive on these differences, but they are causing all the hell in our country, and the other forces outside the world are trying to break this. But Indian Advaita cannot be crushed, because truth is invincible. Like the jasmine exuding the fragrance, the Purna Chandrima pouring the nectar, the Pravakara constantly downloading energy into this life, the silent rivers with their life-giving, nourishing waters. Advaita exists in front of our eyes, but we rarely take note of it. And Advaita doesn't bother whether we take note of it or not. Jasmine never bothers. If you smell the fragrance, you are benefited. The full moon never cares whether you appreciate the beauty or not. If you appreciate and behold the beauty of the moon, it's you who are benefited. If you can understand the rivers and the life-giving waters and we pay reverence to the rivers, we live, we are nourished. If you neglect and disrespect rivers, they are not adamant, they are not violent, they don't rule, control, they live because it is a nature's truth to live as they are. Never proclaim themselves. So too is a mother, a real mother in an Indian family. She never proclaims herself, never trusts herself, always behind, understanding that I am the family. So with all the differences in the family, Indian mother is a representative of Advaita, a real Indian mother. Hundreds of varieties, quarrels, fights, differences of opinion, but she rises above all this. Really, mother's love is an expression of Advaitic feeling of oneness. Rishis in ancient time in their spiritual journey, inward voyage, they fell upon this truth of oneness of the whole existence. They found it is the one manifesting itself as many. The one changing and appearing as many. It's quite baffling because we don't know the process of manifestation. We look at the manifested thing, but we don't know or we don't understand how the manifestation starts. So like a children, we give too much importance to the manifested things. I still remember that when I was in the 5th standard, evening 4:30 or something, we used to come to the house and 5 o'clock there will be tea and we will be all given these doll biscuits. Doll biscuits means the biscuits will be in the shape of rat, elephant, parrot, deer, cat. Every time I will fight, I want elephant biscuit, I want elephant biscuit. Well, why? The elephant is so big, But as I grew older, I found all the biscuits were of the same size. Elephant also is of the same size like the rat because the weight has to be measured. So when you will put 10 biscuits, it will become 100 grams. All the biscuits are the same size and the same weight. But mentally, we are so glued to the idea that elephant means it is big. So our conception or rather misconception about things of the world, and we adamantly cling on to that, it makes a child out of us. And a child always claims he is right and mother is wrong. So elephant appears to be an elephant, but when you measure the cat, the rat, the ant and the elephant all look same. So we are all playing with these dolls of the world, clamoring for so many things. But Rishi says, what are you clamoring for? It is all one. Power, post, name, status, your self-importance, nothing is that you are one. So the oneness of the existence created a great transformation in their mind. And the effect was one spontaneous bursting forth of love from their heart. They found out the roots, however hundreds of branches a tree may have, the single unified trunk has got its life in the roots below. So they also found out that however different we may be in our appearances, in our language, in our cultures, in our habits, the way we deal and conduct our life, but below this life or above this, there is the root of Advaita Vedanta linking all of us together. In fact, it doesn't even. So de-hypnotizing ourselves from actuality to reality is a way of Advaita. The first thing is, I think she's a little tired, you can sit on the chair. It will make you more comfortable. Just lean on the door and that will fill the sleep. Two things are there in our life. One is the actuality, what we perceive in our day-to-day life. This is the actuality. And another is the reality. Children, immature beings, they see only the actuality. Saints, sages, matured, grown up, those people see the reality also along with actuality. This combining, mingling of actuality and reality makes the music of our life. Otherwise, the bringing of reality into the actuality can create paradoxes in life, as we find in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. How the misapplication of Advaita can cause a lot of confusion, and we start doubting the philosophy of Advaita. The Hati Narayana and the Mahut Narayana is one of the beautiful expression of Sri Ramakrishna, where in application, if we make errors, then the principle appears to be wrong. It is not the principle that is wrong, the way we apply, the method of application becomes wrong. So it is told that reality and actuality both must be grasped. Actuality is that we are full of differences. In fact, without these differences, how are we going to deal with others? If all our thoughts are same, where is the speaker and where is the audience? We need not even exchange thoughts. All our thoughts are same. Is it not? Because we have differences in thoughts, we are able to deal. But yet we have to understand that though there may be differences in thoughts, as thoughts, they are all waves in the mind. However different group of blood we may have, as blood it is one, is it not? However different we may look outwardly in our appearances due to our physical constitution and our body construction, we are not separate even physically, is it not? If we are separate physically, how dangerous it would be, is it not? You should require a special heart specialist for you. My heart is separate, your heart is separate, his is separate. Hundreds of heart specialists are required to treat us. But however we may have different units of heart, it's a different units, but it is the same principle. So once you study about heart and specialize in that, one doctor, many hearts can be treated. So even at the physical level, like the broad daylight sun, Advaita is proclaiming, but we are so struck with the actuality that we forget the reality working through the actuality. We all have different eyes, is it not? But our eyes work on the same principle, the retina, the pupil, and everything is on the same principle it is working. So once you can specialize in eye ophthalmology, so you treat all the persons. Whether you are an Australian, or an Indian, or a Russian, we all have jealousy. We all have anger, is it not? We all have love. We all have a feeling of charity. So however different we may be, being in different nations, the emotions are the same. You have anger, and American also has anger. A Taiwan man, he also feels angry, he also has got jealousy. As we love, a man in Egypt, he also loves. Animals also love, they also feel jealous, they also fight. So physical level and even the mental level, thoughts are universal. Thoughts never belong to anybody. We may lay hold on the thought through the law of property ownership, what they call. Nowadays every book and everything has got a ownership. What is a patent?
Copyright.
Huh?
Copyright.
Copyright, not only copyright, this is another technical word for that, intellectual property rights. But if you really think, are thoughts yours? Is a thought in your mind yours? Yes or no? Yes, then why don't you control the thought? See how the irony starts. If it is my thought, why did I think a thought which was not favorable to me and then again go on trying to control the thought? Why should I not think the thoughts which are favorable to me so I need not indulge in thought control? Thoughts are not ours. They all come from the holy feet of Kalaivani Saraswati. Suddenly we put our hands, take possession and we claim like a pickpocket. The purse was in somebody's pocket, he thought it is mine. Picked the pocket and puts it in his own pocket and claims it's my purse. So we are all indirectly pickpocketers, is it not? Everything in this world created by God, we take it and we say it is ours. It is not yours, nor is it ours, it is existing. So the imaginary imposition on the actuality makes the differences very, very vibrant and living. Sri Ramakrishna says God loves 2 times. On 2 occasions he loves. One is when the brothers quarrel about their property. This earth which was created by God existed before they were born, and this earth will continue to exist even after their death. But while living, they divide the property, put the boundary line and says this is mine and this is yours. But after some time both of them are going to be below the earth. And God says, I only created fellows, these people are fighting, what can I do now? And another occasion is when a doctor tells a mother, don't worry, I will take care of your child. Sri Ramakrishna says, fellow himself cannot take care of himself, and he is giving a assurance to mother that he will take care. I had a beautiful story from one of our Swami who was in Hollywood. A man went into coma and they all declared that he will die on a particular day. So last 3-4 days, specialists came surrounding his bed and they were sitting watching and registering all the things that were taking place in his body. All the machines were tagged to his body and the graphs were going on. Just last few minutes before, the specialist doctor also came to see how this man is going to die. Because they had already predicted that he is going to die. There is no possibility of survival. Just 2 minutes before the climax was to reach, 1 minute before, the patient on the bed who was always sleeping with his eyes closed suddenly opened the eyes wide and was gazing at the entrance. Few seconds passed and the main doctor who was to record all his bodily movements, he was surprised how this fellow opened his eyes. Sitting on the chair, he just turned and looked at the entrance. Massive heart attack. The main doctor collapsed, falling from the chair. In the 1 minute which was already predicted when this patient will die, he got up and sat on the bed and the doctor collapsed. So the nurses came running and they were all surprised. The doctor who predicted that the patient will die, he is dead and the patient survived. And within 5-6 minutes he came back to his senses. They gave him some juices to drink. Till what happened to you? Can you narrate your experience for our medical record? He told nothing happened. Just a second or two before I opened my eyes, suddenly I felt somebody is coming at the entrance to take me, and I just opened my eyes wide and looked. I saw a dark, huge black figure with a big moustache sitting on the back of a buffalo. I was wondering, who is this stranger? I have never seen him in my life. Of course, death is a stranger. When I was gazing at him intently to understand who is this fellow come to take me, doctor who was very curious about me, he also looked. And as his gaze fell on him, death took him and left me. So Sri Ramakrishna says, the doctor told, he will die, he died. Similarly, when he says, I will take care of the child, when we are going to die, we don't know. So the actuality eludes us, and therefore we lose the grasp of the reality. Actuality is vividatha, the variety. Reality is the one behind this variety. And once we can grasp this principle, it is the one appearing as many. The first effect, unbelievable. You know what will be the effect if you understand it is the one becoming many? I read it in Global Vedanta. I was struck with the immensity of the statement. What a statement it was. So simple. So it's one, through various stages of vibration, it appears as many. If you can grasp this principle even theoretically, the first effect on the mind is quite startling. What will be the effect if you understand it's the one that is becoming the many? Renunciation. What I thought as a Banaras silk saree is it is the same one coming through different stages. What I thought as a gold ornament is nothing coming through the earth as different ores and different minerals. It is coming from there only. It is the one that has become the many. So the first step is the great Bhoga Vasana. It will lose its grip on us. What we are thinking as this and that and getting enchanted, it is nothing but the one and the same thing. Appears as Cadbury's milk silk, but if you really brood over it, it is neither silk nor milk. It is a grass which went through the body of a cow and came back to me as milk, is it not? So renunciation, which we think as quite frightening and very difficult to practice, when knowledge comes, renunciation is a spontaneous result. Vairagya, it comes with viveka. Practiced vairagya is very hard, hitting on our heads. But when it comes through knowledge, it is a net result, the end product of the vision you saw. So vairagya becomes a matter of joy to follow. So when we see it's all one, that's why in the house when family, children and other people quarrel, mother will not be able to withstand them. And she has no effort to practice vairagya. So all of you are on, please don't quarrel, please don't quarrel. Recently in the Indian corporate house, you saw two big brothers quarreling, is it not? And the empire was to collapse or get divided into two. I think you know that. And mother came in between, and both Mukesh and his brother. So it becomes really a reliable reliance. Mother, the Advaita, brings a reliance power. That is the only thing which is reliable, but we don't take care of that. So the reality must be understood. First theoretically, it's called Shravanam. Hear about it first. Once you bring this perception of reality into the field of actuality, all your greed and all your desires will collapse. As we come to Sri Ramakrishna, did you not experience your too much of liking for other gods and goddesses slowly reducing? More and more you come to Ramakrishna, it is not that we don't like other gods and goddesses, we find all of them merging into Sri Ramakrishna. Is it not this clamoring for varieties of gods which we had previously, is it not? Even during the difficult times, we will pray to Hanuman, to Mariamman, to this god, that god, thinking that at least one will help, is it not? All those clamorings vanish because we understand it is the one supreme manifesting. So sending an application here is as good as sending an application to all the gods and goddesses. There's a beautiful saying in Tamil. Marathil maraindadu mamada yane. There was a huge wooden elephant and children were climbing and jumping over that elephant. And when the carpenter came and saw that it's a teak wood. Marathil maraindadu mamada yane. Elephant vanished into the wood. Children saw only the actuality, the elephant, the name and the form. And the man of knowledge, carpenter, came. He told whether it's a small elephant or a big elephant, a lion or a swan or a nandi, it is all but either granite stone or teak wood. So the attachment for Nandi or attachment for Garuda or attachment for Hamsa Pakshi, Annavahana, all vanishes because we have sighted the oneness behind it. Is it not? The oneness is either the granite stone appearing as Nandi. We see the Nandi, but the sculpture sees the granite stone. He says whether it is a Nandi or a Hamsa Pakshi or Garuda, it's only appearance, it's only the actuality. I am bothered about the quality of the granite stone.
The moolam is the same.
Moolam. மரத்தில் மறைந்தது மாமத யானை மரத்தை மறைத்தது மாமத யானை. So actuality is wood and it was covered. Reality is one, it was covered by actuality. The appearance as elephant. The reality is wood. The appearances are many. Like the children selecting the doll biscuits as elephant, cat, rat and other thing. Not able to understand that whatever may be the Rupa and Nama, all the biscuits are of the same size. I still now wonder how like a small boy has to crave and fight. First to snatch the elephant from the hands of mother. And she used to laugh. But however elephant big it may be in our actual life, but when it comes out as a doll biscuit, same size. So as we slowly understood, and when I came to 10th or SSLC, it dawned, oh, it's all of the same size and same weight. The craving for the biscuit went off. Whatever biscuit comes, let it come. That brings the santushti in life, the satisfaction aspect. How dissatisfied we are, is it not? Because we don't perceive the reality, we are all caught in the net of actuality. The effort of spiritual sadhana is to bring reality into actuality. The actual should become real and the real should become actual. But sometimes without understanding, simply bring the reality into the actuality, it will be a great mess and confusion. And that is what Sri Ramakrishna explains through the story of elephant and Mahot. All are Narayana, yes, that is a reality. But actuality is, elephant is elephant, Mahot is Mahot, and the disciple who misapplied it in practice, oh, all are Narayanas, let me stand. If the whole world is Narayana and stand in front of a railway engine, it doesn't work out. So in application we have to be very, very careful, very wise and very matured in application. Wrong application should not convey to us the idea that Advaita, the reality, the truth is wrong. Many times we commit this mistake of wrongly applying it and then doubting the truth. So as we grow and apply, we should have a judicious combination of this actuality and reality, applied in such a way that it should work out properly. All water, they are Narayana, Apo Narayana, but you cannot go and drink the gutter water, is it not? If you drink, what will happen to you? You will become a fool, you will die, get disease. No, Advaita Vedanta is causing all this trouble in my life. Sri Ramakrishna will say, fool, you took the right principle, but you applied it wrongly. So who is at fault? Not the truth. Because truth never goes wrong. That is why it is truth. So in our life, as we live this beautiful life through our family unit, through the society, through the different organizations, through our country, how do we behave? Do we apply the reality in a very, very intelligent way? The application is more important. Anything, science also, when applied wrongly, it is going to cause great chaos and endanger our life, and that is what is happening to the application of the atomic energy. How wrongly we apply the nuclear power, is it not? Because we don't know the reality. If all of us die, and that was what was going to happen to Dronacharya's son, Ashwatthama. When he was about to hurl the Brahmastra, Krishna told, fool, can you take it back? Well, no, Arjuna could take it back. If you don't take it back, everybody will die. You alone will live. And the only work that you will have to do is take all the dead bodies and go on burning or burying. Lifelong you will be a man in cremation ground. This Abhishapa will come to you. And if all people are dead, you alone living, will it be a joy? Even the presence of enemy is required for our joy, is it not? If you kill the enemy, what joy it is? You alone, what can you enjoy? So this actuality, where we all live, with all differences, with enmity, with hatred, it all adds a great spice to the life. You remove all the enemies, what your life will be, is it not? The faults, the blunders, and all the great achievements, everything is adding to my life, making it a great poetry, is it not? Remove all the failures, you will not find it life so attractive. The sorrows, everything is adding to the life current and making it more and more a melody, like all the Saptaswaras entering into a song. Sri Ramakrishna says simply one man is holding on to the song. What joy is there? It's a Navarasas. That is how the Advaita, through the Navarasa, that Ekarasa of the unity of existence is going on. So in our body, in our mind, in our heart, in our intelligence, that one single principle is working. The whole different units are held by one single principle. I am, is it not? Sutre Vanigana Iva. I am the one principle running through all the different pearls strung together. We look at the pearls and fail or overlook the string. We should take care of the string, understand it. First theoretically, as I told it is Shravanam, hear it. And Mananam, slowly brood over it. Brooding over Advaita brings inner maturity. It makes us calm. It makes us what yesterday we described as a great ornament of Holy Mother, forbearing. Try to adjust, try to accommodate, hold on, because we are more important than the events of life, is it not? We attach too much importance to the events of life, and ultimately we kill life itself. One failure, one misery, is it not? Why do we kill ourselves? When we can't give life to ourselves, why do we kill? So misfortune, it comes in because we lost track of Advaita. So the Advaita's application requires first Shravanam, hear about it, then brood over it, think it, and then try to experience it, understand it. How to understand Vedanta? It is told by understanding the Vedanta, you understand the Vedanta. There is no method. If you really want it, think, listen, think, brood, and slowly as you keep continuing to think over that principle, slowly it will expose its grandeur in all its glory. And slowly, slowly as the idea sinks into the mind, it will enter into the field of heart and you will start feeling. Advaita is an experience to be felt. And the only way it can be practiced is by feeling the oneness present in this whole world after hearing and thinking about it. As we start applying it, all the good qualities will come to us because we are one. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Why? You are one. Who told? Advaita says, but we are all different. Yes, externally we are all different. Internally, intrinsically we are all one. That is why we find the world is a big thing to talk about, but such a hard thing to achieve. Because we have not got this idea of Advaita. Swami says this is the grandest theme that is to be worked out in the future. And what a great amount of blessing it will bring on humanity. We are one. Again and again, standing on the Western platform, Swamiji was thundering this message of Advaita. Let the Vedantic line, roar the roar of Advaita Vedanta. There is great wave of fear all over the world. What this man will do to me, what that man will do to me. China has got nearly 3,200 missiles facing US. And South Korea, it is trying to keep many ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles facing. And when the intercontinental ballistic missile was fired, it was remarked, this is a gift to a bad word starting with B. It is for those Americans. So everywhere we are finding that instead of living on this paradise earth, we make it such a hell because we see only the actuality. So what can bring a well-knit organization as a global village? Physically we can't do it, mentally we can't do it. Spiritually, metaphysically we can bring that idea that we are one. And that idea, if it goes into the system of our education, ultimately it enters our blood, veins and the whole thought process, and it becomes part of our culture, then we will find out that very quickly we have adapted to it. When the jeans pants were introduced, the Brahmin mamis never even were willing to look at jeans pants. Nonsense. Said, Gani bag, is it worth wearing? But slowly it percolated into the society. Now whether you are a Brahmin or a Kshatriya, everybody is wearing because it is convenient. So the actuality and the reality should mingle, shake hands and make a poetry out of our life. In the life of Sharada Devi, Sri Ramakrishna and great saints in India, we find this happening. Any amount of intellectual things cannot bring that revolution which Advaita and the grasp of the Advaita theory can bring into our life. The feeling for all the people is the basis of Advaita because we are one. And when we are one, how can you hate others? Is it not? The first question is, how can you hate others? How can you differentiate others from yourself? Misery, to which we are so fondly hugging. My misery, all of us tell is not my misery, is it not? As if we have taken ownership right over misery. My misery, my sorrow, my sadness. Sadness is the creation of God. It has come along with the creation because the ending of this world, impermanence is the cause of sorrow. Is it not? My sorrow, my pain, my anguish. As if He has created, directed and produced that movie, anguish, my misery, my sorrow. Krishna says, Anityam asukam imam lokam. It is asukam because it is anitya. The asuka comes because it is anitya. Prapya bhajasva mam. Worship me, this is anitya, I am the nitya, everlasting. But this anitya causing asuka is connected to the anitya. That anitya arises from nitya. Philosophically, a lot of arguments will come, but you will find it is a lighted lamp that creates the darkness below it, not the lamp which is not yet lit. A burning lamp creates the darkness below it, not a lamp which has not been lighted. So the contradiction come together. Ravana comes with Rama and Kamsa comes with Krishna, not alone. So we all wander in this Dvaita, but below this Dvaita there is the Advaitic melody. Sapasa, like the Sapta Swaras, all the varying, variable Swaras, but the invariable Sapasa goes below it. So if we can just grasp it, slowly we can start applying it. We may fail many times, but that is not a big botheration because as a small child, how many times we fail? As we try to start walking, 100 times we fail, but slowly we started walking. So Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is putting it into practice slowly in spite of all the troubles, turmoils,